Yo, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing some more of the Matsuribayashi playthrough. Today we're going to be probably doing I really thought this would potentially be a stretch for saying, but we're going to be doing the last sort of part of the fragment chapter that doesn't actually involve anything that sort of summarises all of the things we've actually learned so far. So yeah, this is actually going to be the final thing that's going to sort of really tell us things about what actually happened in the years of the Oyashiro-sama curse. And oh my god, we're going to probably learn about maybe, I'm assuming that we're probably going to learn a lot of stuff about how Takano is probably just turning against Tokyo, stuff like that. I mean, literally one of the things we have to read today is called a roller for one. Like, why did I press extra? Yeah, I don't know why I pressed it, but yeah, I'm actually really excited to read today because I have no clue what we're going to read. I have a feeling we're probably going to get a lot more info about, like, what the fuck happened to Satoshi as well. And the things about the drug addict, that's the things I want to know the most. But, yeah, I don't know, maybe we won't find them out. Who knows? I think we might actually be able to do a roller for one. I'm not entirely sure, though. I don't know what Tomitake's promise is. What else can we read? So, yeah, we have these 4 stories left. And then, obviously, like, for the days after, we have these stories. I really wonder what they're going to be. I kind of hope that tomorrow's going to be like one of my last days on this, because, I mean, even though I like this chapter, I really want to play more of the main game, you know? The Revenge of Takano Mion. Interesting. Oh, we are in for some sauce today. Right, so what can we actually read? So we can't read that, obviously. We can read this. I actually remember that. Yeah, right, this is going to be interesting. Oh, so this is actually Tomitake's view of things. So Takano-san always comes along with me whenever I go take pictures on a stroll. Yeah, she does actually. Hang on a second. Oh, okay, good. She might have discovered the joy of cameras, and I'm happy to gain a friend who shares the same hobby. That's actually really interesting. I wonder if she genuinely loves the hobby, or maybe if she's just, you know... Because you remember at the end of I think it was chapter 7, Minagoroshi, like the end where, obviously, Takano kills Tomitake. You remember, like, how manipulative she was in terms of, like, trying to get things her way and trying to convince him or something like that. Like, the only reason the relationship was still going was because of, you know, sus stuff. Like, seduction stuff. Yeah, I do wonder if this is... So what I'm basically trying to say, I wonder if this is real or if this is just a, you know, fake thing to try and get on this person's better side. I mean, you would need to do that because of his occupation as well. I mean, he has a very big importance to Takano's life. However, there's actually something else she's much more interested in. Yep, that'll be the history in Namazawa. Yep, maybe not the most normal hobby. She frequently visited libraries and local archives to read through various documents and books. Nerd. Nah, I'm just kidding. When it comes to Hinamazawa, she's gained quite extensive knowledge of the local history. And I do think that's really good, especially because of, like, for doing research, I really like that she's following her grandfather's footsteps. Like, you need knowledge of the folklore with this sort of case, I suppose. Because it could potentially tell you things that science can never tell you. But who knows? Well, she's in a good mood. She tells me about things like, you know, how Hinamazawa used to be called Onikafuchi village, and how the villagers there used to perform various cruel ceremonies based around the words of Oyashiro-sama. That's what she says when she's in a good mood? Jesus Christ. I don't even want to imagine how she's like whenever she's pissed. Oh god. It seems she loved tales of violence, and that actually gave her a mysterious charm. Yeah. Yeah, she loves tales of violence, and, I mean, Tomitake obviously doesn't know this, but she is a very violent person herself. Because, I mean, she literally dissects people without their consent. Like, Rika's mum is the best example. On the other hand, I don't do well with grotesque things. Oh god, I feel bad for him for knowing somebody like this. My god, I don't do well with grotesque things, so I can hardly say anything in response. I mean, I find them really interesting, but I don't really do that well with them either. I mean, if they are interesting, then I will find them interesting. The stories of cruel ceremonies that she gets excited about, I don't really get them all that well. Yeah, that's fair. However, with the way her eyes light up when she talks, oh god, I don't mind spending time with her even if I have to hear about the cool things. It is a really tricky situation. I mean, especially when Tomitake probably should say something. I mean, to be fair, he's probably so sort of obsessed with, like, you know, just spending time with somebody, making a new friend, that he probably doesn't think about that. But he probably should, like, you know, say, this is not good.
Takano-san wa souyuu no o shiraberu no ga suki da ne.
You sure like looking into that stuff, don't you? Sure, it's fun. It's really to unravel a dark past that has been sealed away. Don't you think so? That's actually really interesting. I mean, the thing is, especially with unraveling, I mean, I suppose that's what's really fun about learning about history. Like, you get some of the best countries in the world and then you just look at their history and, yeah, let's just say it's not the best. Takano-san smiled in a way that almost made it sound like a dark past is something fun. Yeah. It's interesting, but it's not fun. God. But of course, it isn't. Yeah. The dark history of Inamazawa that she loves is something cruel and atrocious, like the witch hunts in the Middle Ages. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, the witches, my god. Yeah, definitely. I wonder if it was like a worldwide thing. I mean, it must have been if... Because I always thought the witch thing was only sort of unique to, you know, like Europe and the countries England was ruling. But I don't know. I suppose it's unique to every country. Damn. That's actually really surprising that a belief would have got so far that it would have spread worldwide. It sometimes does really make you surprised that beliefs like that actually sort of vanished in the long run. Because the entire world was into it at one point. Like, what if the world never sort of saw why it was wrong? Besides, they help me in researching Inamazawa syndrome. Yeah, definitely, You don't have to always look through the microscopes to research things. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes the traditions of this village have spent so long with the parasites can teach us things that are far more valuable. Yeah, and definitely. Yeah, and the thing that's really, really good about this, like, it's not good, but like the only thing that's good for her research, I suppose, they've spent a ton of time with it. They know they've had to live with it for so much longer than she has. So if the scriptures are reliable and it actually depicts a clear interpretation of what happened, then yeah, it can be very useful. But again, if it's sort of exaggerated crap, then yeah, maybe not the best idea. That's true. Boy, you sure are passionate about this. Oh yeah, definitely. That's because research gives my life's meaning. To step into the unknown and to uncover a secret that nobody else knows. Don't you think that's wonderful? It tickles my intellectual curiosity. What a weird phrase. Yeah, I really would like doing, like, you know, the unknown thing, stepping into the unknown and uncovering an unknown secret. That would be amazing. That's probably the greatest entertainment available to humans who can feel joy just from thinking. It's actually really interesting. I never really thought about that. I mean, the only thing is, let's say you're really bored in a school classroom. You can think all you like, it's not going to get more fun. But I suppose if you have something really, really interesting on your mind, then maybe you could. I remember there was this one time where I think it was like, you know, in like the last week of school where all you do is fuck around for the entirety. I think there was this one time where we were watching like a really shit film in German, and yeah, I think I was just thinking, I can't remember, what was I thinking about? I think for the entire time I was just thinking about Tsumi Horoboshi, and I was trying to like sort of come to sense of the ending because of how sort of weird it was. I never really came anywhere, but nah. Never really got anywhere, but still.
この研究の第一人者だった高野先生もひなみ沢症候群の研究に生涯を捧げるだけの何かを見
The
出
first
し
person to work on this,
そ
Dr.
の
Takano,
魅力に
must have
取り
discovered
憑かれ
something
ていたに
fascinating
違い
enough to
ない
make him
でしょう
devote his
ね
entire life to the researching of the syndrome too. It's actually really interesting though, because he really did. I mean, heck, he literally abandoned. Well, not really abandoned, he became estranged with his fucking partner. I mean, that just really shows that he's either really got an unhealthy obsession, or he's just really bloody passionate, so passionate that it's literally his top priority, which I know it's not healthy, but like that just really shows how much this research can sort of, I don't know, like consume somebody, if you like.
多分私だけ
I
が
think I'm probably the
そ
only
んな
one who
高
can
野
understand
先
his
生の気持ちを
feelings.
理
I
解してい
suppose
る
it
と
would be
思
too
う
difficult for you, Zero-san, since you're not a
研究
researcher.
者でない二郎さんには難しいかしら
You are not the only one. Like, look at any other researcher in any other sort of field that has sort of got her passion, or if anything, even more than her passion. She is not the only one. She always seems so enthusiastic every time she talks about the late Dr. Takano. Yeah, an independent researcher who was the first person to discover the existence of the syndrome. There has to be something more than just her admiration as a researcher. I do find it really interesting he thinks that. Yeah, it's definitely that. I mean, he literally saved her life and she wants to repay it. And I think all of the, you know, the talk about wanting to sort of overpower somebody and overpower Yasudou-sama and completely change the villagers' sort of knowledge, really, of the god. And I think it's also just like, you know, just you remember the things about her works being, I don't know, her sort of impacts and works being remembered once people died, and as a result, like what Yumi thought was becoming a god, that's probably what she wants to do as well. Well, probably, definitely. Come to think of it, Takano's full name, Dr. Takano's full name is Takano Hihimi. Takano-san's full name is Takano Mio. No, it isn't. It's Miyoko Tadashi. Not only are their last names pronounced the same, but their first names follow a similar pattern. Yeah, there must be... How do you not realise? It is literally so obvious. They must be connected somehow. I don't know anything about Takano-san's personal history, but there's a good chance her name is an alias. It isn't. I mean, to be fair, it kind of is. But the only thing is that was a name she genuinely picked when she was a child. It's not her real biological name, but at the same time, it kind of is. I just don't know how he doesn't think that... I mean, to be fair, this could be a really big coincidence, but I'm just really surprised that he doesn't think they're related, or he doesn't really 100% know they're related. So it's very possible she goes a name to reflect the researchers as she admires. That's actually really interesting, and I mean, I suppose that's what she did, but the only thing is she wouldn't have done it for military or just work intent. She did it when she was a child. But it wasn't really the research, it was the person at that time, I think. I see. So was that why you chose that name?
ひょっとして、
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
い
What?
や、
Well, the name of
高
the
野さん
researcher
が
you
尊
look
敬して
up
い
to
る
is
その
Takano
先生の
Hifumi,
名前
right?
が確か高野ひふみ。そして高野さんの
And
名
your
前
name
が
is
ミオ
Mio. In Japanese, it's like you're counting upwards.
123
You're
の後を引き継いで
counting the
3
research.
彼が成し遂げられなかった研
researcher wasn't able
究
to
を引き
complete,
継い
so I
だから
thought maybe that's why you
そう
wrote
いう
that
名前
name.
なのかなって思ってね。
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah.
それを
Who
誰か
told
に
you
聞いたの
that? Himself?
Eh?
Yeah.
いや
Oh, I just thought of that now. I
今
didn't hear it
僕
from
が適当に考
anybody.
えただけなんだよ。
Yeah,
別
definitely.
に誰かが言ってたわけじゃ
Hang on a second, that's actually kind of interesting because would anybody have known, like, Hihumi? Would anybody have known his name? I wonder. Yeah, you're correct. I'm surprised you figured it out since you're so since you're so
二郎
dense.
さんにしても
Damn.
よくわかったわね。
ん。いや、
I know
高野さん
you're
が
not
その
the
高野
spoken
先
as
生
if
を
you
と
were
て
his
も尊
daughter
敬して
or
いるのは知って
granddaughter
たし、
who inherited his
それで
research
自分が
legitimately.
実の娘か
Yeah,
孫
I
で
mean,
研
yeah,
究
it's
の
kind
正
of
当な
it's
後
kind of
継
funny
者
he
だと
says that
いうよう
because
な
I
感じ
mean,
で言っている
yeah,
ことがあったし、
she kind of
なん
is.
となく
That's what I
そん
said
な
that.
気がしただけなんだよ。
I mean, the only thing is she isn't really like a biological granddaughter, but I don't know. Maybe she is just sort of what. Maybe that's what she was considered, really. She was so sort of. I don't know, so sort of faithful to him that he actually considered, and just was such a good person to be around that considered her family. Who knows?
作家のペンネーム
Even
だって、
authors
ほら、
like
尊敬する作家のオマージュで名前を
use
付
their
ける
pen
ことも
names
あるし
as homages towards authors they admire too. Oh, damn.
なら、
So I thought maybe
高
the
野
name
美
you
代っ
use
て名
is
前
like
も
your
ペ
pen name,
ン
you
ネー
know?
ムみたいなものなのかなって思って。
That's actually really interesting. I never realised that. I remember I heard about this author. No, it was actually in a comedy show that was sort of telling you about like late 18th century. It's Blackadder if you've ever heard of it. But, like what he did is he used the pen name of a book to sort of. No, I can't remember what it was. I think he used a pen name that made it sound like. He used a pen name that made it sound like it was a woman's name that actually wrote the book because women's books got more respect back then. Something like that. Maybe I've got it the other way around. I don't know, it was something about a pen name. And the funny thing about this pen name is there was this one person who was really praising this book and they hadn't realised that the person with the pen name was actually him. So he was just really sort of feeling pained. Because he couldn't say. He couldn't.
So そんなことはない
No,
わよ
that's not so. Takano Mio was my real
高野
name.
美代は
You
本
write
名
my family name
も
differently
っとも
though.
高野の高は鳥の高じゃなくて高い低いの高が正しいけれど
え
Yeah, then it really is
じゃ
the
あ
exact same family as
高野先
Dr.
生とは
family name
本
as
当
Dr.
は同じ
Takano.
名字なの
That's
か
even more of a surprise. And Mio is your
ま
real
すますび
name
っくり
too.
だね
Takano Mio continuing
しか
with
も
the is Takano.
ミオが本名
Higumi Takano's life work.
高野ひふ
What
み
a
の研
fateful
究を
coincidence.
高野美代
It's
が
actually kind of funny that though. I mean, I know she was called
なんか
Miyoko at first,
運
but
命
like
的
still,
偶然を感
she
じる
still
ね
had like the same sort of things that counted up, you know? You're
二
overstating
郎
me,
さん
Jiro-san.
なら
This isn't fate of
運
any
命
kind.
的
He's my
だなんて
grandfather.
大げさな 別に運命でも何でも
I
な
find
い
it really interesting that like Takano sort of, you know,
私の祖父
kind
だ
of saying the easier side of the story to say. She's not actually saying the true things. What? This is news to me. I heard Takano-san discovered documents about the Hinamizawa syndrome left by Dr. Takano after his death, and decided to continue his research. Hmm. I've never heard of them being related before.
祖父の研究を引き継
Somebody
ぐた
told
め
me
に予
someone
算
told me it'd leave a bad impression if I asked for money to
ま
continue
る
my
で身内びい
grandfather's
きのため
research.
に予算を引っ
But
張ろ
people
うと
may
して
think
い
I'm
るよ
trying
う
to
に
pull
見え
funds
て
for a family
印
matter.
象が良くないというふうに助言を
That's
してく
why
れる
I
人がいたので
changed one of the
タカの一文字を変えた
characters
から
in my last name. Yeah, that's fair enough though.
だから人前で高野先生が私の祖父だと話したのは小泉のおじいちゃんを除いたら二郎さんを含めて
So,
他にいるか
other
どうか
than
とい
Uncle
う話
Koizumi,
を
you're the first person I've told this to.
So-
I
そう
see,
だ
I
ったのかい。
don't know, so that's why you're so passionate about
なるほどね。
this. Yeah, definitely, but
君が
I
ひ
really
な
found
み沢症
interesting,
候
so
群の研究に入江所長も驚くほどの情熱を見せる理由がちょっとだけ分かったよ。
So hang on a second, I wonder what the name she was actually using for sort of I don't know, like I don't know when she was actually trying to ask money, I wonder which sort of type of name she was actually using. I wonder, I mean obviously she changed one of the characters in her last name, I wonder what she changed. That's actually really surprising she can actually get away with lying about her name though. But to be fair, her name is actually Tanashi Miyoko, so yeah. If they ask for some sort of form of ID, then yeah, that would be even worse because they'd actually realise she'd be lying. I understand very clearly now. She really did inherit the work of her grandfather was unable to complete.
祖父も
My grandfather researched Hinamizawa syndrome not only from a medical point of view,
古文書な
but
ど
through
の
old
文献
documents
から
and
も
literature
ひ
as
なみ
well.
沢症候
Yeah,
群を
yeah,
探ってい
definitely.
たの
And that's why his research really did have potential. It's actually a real shame that it didn't really get anywhere.
ひなみ沢症候群
But
と
if the old stories of
何
a
百年に
village
も
that
わ
has
たり
been living with the syndrome
共
for
にあった村
hundreds
の
of
文
years can
献
be
を
far
調べる
more valuable than looking through microscopes that
何百
magnify
倍も
things
の倍
hundreds of
率
times.
を持つ顕微鏡を
Yeah,
除
yeah,
く
that's fair enough.
価値
Yeah.
があり得るとい
I
う
mean,
の
I
は
suppose it's one of those things where you
祖
need
父が
both of
私
them
に教
to
えて
actually,
くれたこと
you
だ
know, to actually be able to come to the final conclusion, but still, having one can really benefit the other. Because, I mean, suppose, let's say you're looking for a microscope, I really wonder what would happen if, like, you're trying to research something, but you don't actually know what you're looking for, and you're trying to identify it with a microscope. Like, that must be so difficult. I see. I'm sure your grandfather was
だとし
happy
た
that
ら
you're finishing the
自
work
分
he
の完
couldn't.
成できなかった
I bet
研
he's
究
really
を
proud
こ
of
れ
you.
だけ立派に引き
Oh,
継いでくれ
yeah.
たおじいさん
Yeah,
は
definitely.
きっと喜んでいるだろうね。こんなに熱心な孫に引き継げてとても嬉しいはずさ。
I hope so. Yeah, yeah.
そうだといいわね
I said something Takano-san was normally tease me about, but she didn't. She's not getting smart. Damn. There's no mistake. She is indeed the granddaughter of Takano. There there is a mistake though. I mean, she definitely thinks she is, but she isn't really. Right, what is this gonna be? Oh yeah. My grandfather was Higami, which means 1, 2, 3, and then Mio, which means 3, 4. Hell yeah. Following after my grandfather, we only counted the 3 together. That's actually fair enough, yeah. And we counted the 4 after my grandfather. We must reach that 5, but neither me nor my grandfather was seeing it. This is my duty and the reason I was born. God. I don't really think to reach a number would be a reason that a human being would literally be born, but I suppose, yeah, that's what she thinks, but yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that they sort of counted the 3 together. And I mean, I suppose what she's sort of thinking is like, these steps, these numbers are like steps for the research. And I suppose 4 is the one, yeah, the step after the grandfather, and then 5 is the one where everything is completed. And this was really interesting now that I think about it. How many years are there of Yasudou-sama's curse? 5. Most of the time, at least. That's really interesting. I never actually realised that.
So
that's why your name is Mio, huh?
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Better than Miyoko. Her actual name. Let me add. Thank you, but please give the granddaughter issue to yourself. Oh god, yeah, definitely. My clients don't even know, and I don't want any unnecessary problems from them finding out about it. Yeah, definitely. And she would actually get in a lot of stuff, a lot of trouble for actually having not told them before and probably lying about identities as well. That would really decrease their trust. Ah, sure, okay. This is a secret between you and me, huh? Although it's only a small secret, it feels good to think that I'm the only one who knows about it. You're not though, Koizumi though. Well, the only one that's... I mean, didn't Koizumi die or something like that? I don't know. That's interesting. I've only counted to 3. I haven't even reached 4 yet. The path before me is long enough, but I will do it. She will, I agree, but the only thing is, how will she do it? Who knows? I've always supposed the secret of Hinamizawa syndrome. That's my job in the first place. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. Jeez, you sound pretty cool if you didn't tack on things like that. You only needed to say that you'll support me, you know. Nah, there's no problem in being, you know, just a little bit too technical. You know, good work ethic, I suppose. Okay, I'll support you. I love that he's just, you know, now he is the cool guy. He's like he's the muscly hero man that everybody's gonna admire. It's too late. You're not cool if you can't get it right the first time. I agree though. That's actually kind of true. If anything, you're less cool because you're trying to sort of correct what you've done. You know. Now, if anything, I suppose that could be cooler, but no, I don't know. If you don't get it. If you try hard, then you're less cool, which you probably would be doing if you said it another time like Tomitake did. I don't know. I'm giving this too much thought. I should stop. We laughed cheerfully together. And after we finished laughing, she became serious again and spoke as if to drive the point home. Serious shit.
だからジローさん、 くれ
Oh
ぐれも
yeah, fair enough.
私
So
は
remember,
孫だって
Jiro-san, don't tell anybody that I'm his granddaughter, okay?
言わないよ。
Okay,
孫
I
だからい
promise.
けないというこ
It's
と
not
は
a
ない
bad
けど
thing, but I don't want the class to cut off
ク
Annie
ライア
because
ン
of
ト
that.
がそれを知って不
Yeah,
快に思ったら
definitely, yeah.
予
I'm
算
just
を
really
切ら
surprised
れ
that
る
they
ような
don't
こと
know.
があるかもしれない
No, because I always thought they knew Dokonor Neil. I always thought that was like her confirmed name, but I suppose she has another character in her surname that was actually different.
そんなことはないと思うよ。第一、
I don't think they will.
僕は喋らない
Besides,
し
I won't tell a soul. Brilliant.
絶対よ
Are you sure? Are you really, really sure?
本
Gosh,
当
it
に
sounds really,
本
really
当に
serious. But the only thing is,
絶対よ
this could potentially really do a lot if things actually, I don't know, if things actually became worse as a result. If Jiro maybe did actually tell people, but yeah, he's not going to. She needs to relax.
私は
This research is the entire purpose of my life. My mission is to complete my grandfather's work. Yeah.
祖父の研究を
I
完
really,
成
I
させ
really
る
will
こ
always
と
find
だ
it
けが
interesting just how much she
私の使命
prioritizes her research. I mean, like, she literally thinks that, like, she shouldn't live if she doesn't do this research just because of how important it is to her. It's really quite something.
踏みにじられた研究
To prove that his travel research is actually something amazing that will shock the world and to make everybody praise my grandfather,
土
who
の
was
下で朽
perishing
ち
away
る
under
祖
the
父を
earth,
たたえさせ
eventually having him ascend as a
神
god.
に昇華さ
That's
せ
the
ること
meaning and purpose of my life, Jiro-san.
それだけが
God,
私の生き
I'm
る
just
理
really
由で
surprised
あ
that
り
she's opened her
目
heart
的な
that
の
much. Fucking hell.
二郎さ
God, that's just so. I mean, even though I do think like this does have a lot of really unhealthy benefits, really unhealthy implications. I still just think it's really, really sweet how much she cares. Really, you know, you really, really get people that care that much. I mean, it is just kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Sorry, really bloody nuts. If you
そ
say
れを
something
邪魔
that,
するような不
if
用意
you
な
say
ことが
something that creates
あなた
problems
が
for my
うっかり
research,
漏らして
oh god.
研究に支障が出たならば
Yeah, she probably needs to stop before she gets too mad, or like she ruins their relationship. But
大丈
don't
夫だ
worry,
よ。
I'll forget
ここ
everything
で
you
聞い
told
た
me
話
here.
は忘れるよ。
Yeah, brilliant.
本当さ。
Really, I
いや
mean it. I won't say
絶対に
anything.
後悔しない。
Yeah, I don't think he's lying either. I really don't. God, she really is skeptical.
僕は約束は守るよ。
promise.
絶対に
I won't say
言わない。
anything.
絶対
Are
よ
you sure, Jiro-san?
二郎さん
Of course. Yeah, fair enough. I said something frightening within her for a moment. Afraid that she would end up possessed by it. Yeah, Namazawa syndrome, you know. Even though they're researching it, it may be possible that they have it. I mean, no, I said nothing. Afraid that she would end up possessed by it, I swore to keep the promise. Yeah. Probably a better move there. Definitely even, sorry. Her intellectual curiosity as a researcher and her conviction to complete her grandfather's work are what stirs her passion for researching Hinamazawa syndrome. Yeah, I agree. I think there's one more reason, but it's far too deep, and it's within a wound in her heart that somebody like me should never touch. I really, really do find it interesting that he's actually thinking that this could potentially be a reason. I mean, I suppose this is just a hunch, it's just a theory. He doesn't actually know this, but yeah. But earlier, she said, if you create problems for my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. That is actually very true, because let's just say, remember what happened to Dika's mum and Blimmin' husband when they created problems with the research? Yeah. She said, if you create problems with my research, I wonder what she wanted to say after that. I can't help. Yep. couldn't agree more. I can't help but thinking she wanted to say something terrifyingly merciless. I kept my promise with her, and we never talked about the issue again after that. Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, so that's the end. Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I really find it funny that she just stopped when, you know, she actually realised who the fuck she was talking to. I mean, if she said, like, you know, like Tomitaka was saying, like, something utterly merciless, then, you know, somehow I don't think that would be very good in terms of, you know, like, the liaison and, no, what was it? Auditor and researcher relationship. God. That really was interesting. Yeah. I mean, it was nothing we didn't really know already, but still, it was nice to read. I find that really interesting, though, the sort of counting what it signifies, like the steps to the research. Oh shit! This music isn't very happy. What the hell? It happened so suddenly. God, I was not expecting this. A roll of a 1. Oh god, that must... Shit. Yeah, that must be really hard for her. That's fair enough. Oh, Koizumi passed away. I never heard... Oh shit. So this is actually Dokonon's point of view. Damn. I never heard he was ill or wasn't feeling well. Jesus, that's actually the reason. It's just started to hurt suddenly and he couldn't sleep. I mean, to be fair, he is old, so it doesn't really surprise me that much, but still, that is so brutal. He called an ambulance for the first time in his life because he didn't think he could endure the... Oh god, that's horrible. He was taken in by internet emergency care, but he didn't live to see morning. Jesus, I wonder what the hell was wrong with him. Maybe he had a really, really bad heart attack or something like that. God, poor man. It was an acute myocardial infarction. But maybe it was the best possible way to go. Yeah, she's just acting like I know what that is. Let's research it. Right. Oh, right, so that's just another word of saying, heart attack. So, I'm seeing that... Oh, right, hang on a second. That's actually really interesting. I never really read it. So, the actual science behind a heart attack is like apparently the coronary artery, so blood flow to actually get that pumping to the heart and going around the circulatory system, obviously. That's actually blocked, and as a result of that, it damages the tissue. And I'm assuming when the tissue is damaged, it probably can't work as well. But I don't really get why would the tissue being attacked make the heart stop? I mean, it'd make it a lot less strong, but why would it make it stop, I wonder? Yeah, people... So, blocked coronary artery is made more likely if you eat more fatty foods and more cholesterol. God, that's awful. But maybe it was the best way possible to go. Fair enough, I mean, at least it was fast. Yeah, that's fair enough. Instead of being in bed for many years and slowly dilapidating and withering away, he was healthy until his death, so I think he must have lived a wonderful life. Yeah, that's fair enough, but the only thing is you could also argue, like, is it ending really suddenly really bad as well? I don't know. But the only thing is that's really... Yeah, that's really true. Being in bed for many years, I can't imagine how much that this must be. I mean, you know, whenever you face something really, really bad, you know that after the end of it, you're gonna slowly return to the good days, and you're gonna repeat it. Like, could you imagine just being terminally ill and knowing that could potentially not happen? I don't even want to think about how awful that must be. But still, it was too sudden. Yeah, definitely. Oh, God. Oh, I wish I had called him Uncle more. It's too late though. Yeah, Uncle Koizumi would never smile at me again with his wrinkly old face, no matter how many times I called for him. Yeah, that's true. This music is so sad. He was my guardian until now. He always looked after me, making sure my efforts received proper recognition. Yeah, definitely, and without Koizumi talking, I really wouldn't have been as far as she was today. Maybe he only did that because he couldn't help my grandfather when he was alive. But still, he was an important person to me. And even if this was the case, like this first sentence, then he still had the kindness and goodwill to help her. That's really good. It wasn't just my political backing. Oh God, yeah, definitely. But I didn't realise that when he was alive. Oh, that's awful. I really hate it with losses like that. Oh, it's just so... It's horrible when you really realise things that could either really change the view of a person for the better or just really make them appreciate. Like, I've got a lot of people I know that sadly passed away that I haven't really been able to sort of talk to as much as I would have wanted to. I can think of like 3 people on the top of my head. It is really sad. But, yeah. That's the worst, that. I only thought of using his power for my own agenda. Yeah. After he died, I realised Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa too. Because all you have to do is be old and really be a person that Dokkan likes to become a grandpa at this point. Uncle Koizumi was my grandpa too. He provided the warmth and protection that I longed for from my own grandfather. Yeah, that is actually fair enough, yeah. At his funeral. Oh God, yeah. At his funeral, I shed tears. I thought that I forgot how to. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Uncle, thank you for everything. I should have called you Uncle more.
もっとおじいちゃんって呼んであげればよかったね。
I mean, I suppose even though she didn't realise this, at least, I don't know, she's sort of realising it and appreciating how much of a man this person was to not only her, but grandfather as well. No matter how many times I called to him, he would never reply. Yeah, what I can do for him at this point is complete my research. Fair enough. I must accomplish my goal for his sake. When my grandfather's research is finally acknowledged, Uncle Koizumi's name will be known once again for being the sole supporter of his endeavour. Yeah, fair enough. I believe that's the best way to repay him for everything he has done. Fair enough. I vow to devote myself to my work even more from this day on. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, that's my question. But unfortunately, hardships and sadness tend to come together. Yeah. It was like the tailwind that blew steadily until today suddenly became a headwind. Yeah. So I'm assuming, I don't really know what a tailwind and a headwind is, but I'm assuming just like a really sort of calm wind that was blowing them together and that was really helping them in their path, and then just boom, you get a massive wind blowing right towards your face. And I suppose that's, you know, a metaphor for the whole ship, really. Oh, the wind shifted far too suddenly. Yeah, fair enough. So strong, so cold, so sad. Yeah, definitely. It is actually kind of funny, like, I mean, not really sad, but the winds could definitely be really strong and really cold. Not even metaphorically, just genuinely. What are you talking about, Jiro-san? Oh my god, is Tomitake actually trying to comfort Takano? Oh, I hope he is. Well, you know that Koizumi Sensei was the main political sponsor for the Institute, right? He had trouble getting approval from the related agencies, but Koizumi Sensei used his political weight to force it through. Wow. God, so you can really just see how much he's actually cared for Takano and how much he's sort of gone out of his way for this. Wow. Oh, right, yeah, that's good. Accomplishing tremendous things in the medical industry. Oh, interesting. He had a huge influence in politics and industry. Wow. So now that Koizumi Sensei is gone, the way he did things won't work any longer. So far, there's only rumors, so I don't know for sure, but I heard they're gonna... Oh, shit! But I heard they're gonna reconsider the budget allocated for this project. Oh my god, that's horrible! Oh, so you just lose somebody that was really, really close to you. And then you realise this. Fuck. Yeah, no, I suppose the political influence that they would actually have to sort of get to... they would actually have to... The more Tokyo would actually need to go out of their way in order to fund this research project to please Koizumi. Now that he's gone, I suppose they don't really need to, so they're not going to push as hard, I suppose. That's just a shame. Is it really a shame though? I mean, I do get that Takano is really, really supported in, really, really attached to this. But the only thing is, she's killed people, and so has EDF, technically, for this research. So, yeah, you really do wonder if it continuing is the best idea. But at the same time, you're saving a town. Oh, it's just so tricky. I'm not even going to get into the ethical side. Are you saying that the EDA Institute will be closed down? No way. No, I haven't heard anything about them reconsidering the Institute, but since Koizumi's death, the rumours say that there's a great deal of confusion among the old guard and their factions are civil strife within the party around finding a successor. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's really good that he hasn't actually heard anything about, you know, institute-related things.
すでにクライアント
Seems
の人事
the
にか
opposing
なりの
factions
影響を与え
gaining
始めていま
influence
し
in
た
the human resources of our client.
それで
So they may
小泉派が
begin
主
to
導
get
していた
deep,
プロジェクト
deep,
や
deep
正
into
規
the
予
whole
算に
treasure
対
chest
し
that the Koizumi
締め付け
faction.
が行われるんじゃないかって憶測が
Oh
飛び交ってるらしい
shit.
んだよ。
How to fund their project.
Of course, それらは全て僕にとって雲の上の話だからね。 伝え聞いた噂話でしかないんだけど。
So in short, I think if I've understood this correctly, it's basically like because opposing sort of people are gonna jump on the bandwagon and they're going to get as much of Koizumi's funding for their purposes as they possibly can, there'll be less allocated to the project, and also just because of his political influence having gone, the money that he left will be used for other means and probably won't be used for EDS research and Dogano's research as much as possible, but and yeah, it's also just a case of other sides. I always like to think of other factions that, you know, other sides of just coming up to basically end it. Let's just say that. Jido-san kept saying that they were rumours, but that told me that the wind's direction has changed. Definitely, I mean, why would they be rumouring about it if it hadn't? Well, maybe Jido-san already knows everything and is simply trying to warn me about it. That would actually be really interesting. I mean, the only thing is I don't know if he would lie. He wouldn't. And then, at our next routine audit, Jido-san made it clear with his own mouth. Oh, damn, actually kind of surprised. So I suppose he did know it. But the only thing is, I suppose, it could also be likely that these were just rumours that turned real. High-ranking government officials who never came here before attended the routine audit along with Jido-san. Damn. Just by seeing those faces, I can tell that the turning point is approaching. Yeah, definitely.
ご存知の通
As
り
you know, the Alphabet
アルファ
Project
ベ
was
ットプロジェ
created
クト
to
は
strengthen
戦後日
Post
本の
War's
国
Japan's
際的な地位向
presence
上
in
を
the
目
world
的
with
とし
the
た
view
もの
of
です
developing deterrent weaponry.
ですが
However, the
すでに
21st
昭和も
century is now
50
just
年
around the
代に
corner.
至り
God,
西暦は21
that's
世
actually
紀を
kind
間
of
近に
nuts
し
to
てお
think,
りま
but
す
it would be at this time, yeah. What does deterrent mean? I swear I've seen this word before. Oh, interesting. So the action, so deterrence is the action of discouraging an action or event through instilling doubt or fear of the consequences. So I'd assume that these weapons would be so good that they could, I mean, I suppose they could obviously be used if any warfare actually broke out, but it could definitely make the people so fearful of a new war, and other countries as well, definitely, that it would decrease the chances for war. And I suppose this was their way of fighting back America's sort of rule of not being able to make nuclear related products to fight back. Make things just as bad. Well, not just as bad. What can be just as bad as a nuke? I mean, just like potentially just as bad. For an individual person, yeah, but not for like a whole blown city and stuff like that. In this day and age, we must put the past behind us and start looking forward to a new world. Oh, God. Yeah, this is actually really bad. Really bad. You meant exactly what you said. Yeah, Japan has already put the past behind. Yeah, and as a result, because this thing is so tied with the military and the SDF and stuff like that, it's really, really difficult to actually continue this research. And it's cutting out. And it's cutting off its ties to the ghosts that wish to resurrect the militaristic might of the pre-war era. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
戦後40年間、我が国は世界への平和的貢献を模索し、国際的地位を確立するに至りました。
ways. We have a strong alliance with the United States. I'm actually kind of surprised about that, and our nation has established its position in world affairs well enough.
We 日本は国際社会において重要なポジションを担う国家として成熟し、来世紀にはますますにその存在感を強めることでしょう。
Yeah, and especially if people realise that research operations like this that are so big are going on and are really, really big, then yeah, it's going to definitely create questions in the integrity of the country. So I suppose they have to on a national level. But it is actually kind of odd that this happens only after Koizumi dies. The Alphabet Project, the main sponsor of the EDA Institute, are a group of people who want to develop a weapon that would act as a deterrent to the nuclear weapons which Japan is forbidden to own. Yeah. So they've come to the EDA Institute, one of its branch organisations, to tell us that Japan has now renounced nuclear arms. Yeah, definitely. So the EDA Institute will be facing a strong, cold headwind from now on. It's really, really scary to think, but not only have they got the stress of the researching, they've got this as well. It's just so scary to think what's actually going to happen to the research. The roll of the dice that came up with the one on that stormy day has reappeared. Yeah, that's fair enough. I won't let the result of a die affect me. The power of my will won't be beaten by some god's roll of the dice. I do find it really interesting that whenever Dokkan sort of finds something bad happen to her, she always blames it on like a force of luck, a force of something up there that can be controlled by none other than anybody that isn't human, really, and anybody that is divine. It's just really interesting that she has the same analogies as like Rika and Hanyu, for example.
Therefore,
we are going to be structuring the Alphabet Project to one that's more suitable for this day and age. This new Alphabet Project will be tasked with figuring out the best way for this country to achieve a larger presence in world affairs, not through militaristic means. Shit, that is really bad. I mean, the thing is, if they actually sort of, buckle out of the ABC project, it isn't really going to be the biggest deal, because I'm sure they could potentially continue their research without being in the institute, in the sort of organisation. But the only thing is, it's going to be so hard. Like, who knows if it actually be possible. But the only thing is that is really, really bad. If they're going to make it so the Alphabet Project has no militaristic means and intentions, then how are they going to research?
新生アルファベットプロジェクトは国際交流と経済発展の二軸からなる平和外交の見地から日本の地位向上を模索していくことになるでしょう。
What he is saying is very, very good, and I definitely admire what he's doing. But the only thing is, it's just really sad the implications this would actually have. But the only thing is, just because of this decision, is it really right that organisations that have spent years' work trying to do things should suddenly just be in decline because of something like this? Is it really right? But at the same time, is it really right that they are researching military research purposes? I mean, I don't really want to say it's illegal, but secretly, it is probably illegal, let's be honest. But the only thing is, if the government are involved, then it can't be illegal. No, it's just a secret party that was then discontinued. It can't be illegal, I don't think. But yeah. All the people who held tremendous influence in the politics and economy of Japan were born before the war, so naturally they would want to regain the glory of pre-war Japan. Interesting, yeah. The very idea that we can win next time if we research the new bomb that defeated us is itself a spectre of the war. Interesting. I don't really get what researching the new bomb would do. I mean, you could definitely research it, but I suppose maybe you could produce something that would... I don't know, it just doesn't really... anything I think of, it just doesn't sound like something possible to actually be carried out. Like, you can't get something like... When a bomb's fired, how are you going to prevent it from blasting and completely fucking... You know, I just thought of something really interesting. I wonder who actually fired the bombs that completely nuked Japan. No, everybody already realised that. It was just that nobody could speak out against the grandstanding elders. They owned their gratitude towards... Yeah, definitely, yeah. So hang on a second, is this a thing they're going to do even though it was agreed to not have any war-related means being researched by the ABC project? And Tokyo and stuff like that. Soon, the old will wither away and the new generation will take control. Yeah, definitely. And this is when Tokyo's probably going to be in decline. Uncle Koizumi was, in a way, the last remaining pillar of the old generation. Interesting. Yeah, and I mean, that definitely would explain why. And he did have big political influence, so him dying, I suppose that is definitely going to really have a lot of butterfly effects, if you like. His death is a chance for the new generation to step in. Yeah, definitely. The things they couldn't argue openly are now being discussed. They pointed out that from the beginning, that Alphabet Project was created for the personal satisfaction of a small group of people. Oh no, it hasn't though. How? This is sucking money out of the treasury. Actually, hang on a second. Now that I'm thinking about this, even though I'm thinking about like the things that are happening in Inamazawa, for example, I mean, definitely for Takano's personal satisfaction, but for example, Irie, Like, he really wants to develop a cure that's going to save villagers. I mean, I just don't really get how... I don't know, this research, even though it does have a lot of military uses, the non-military uses, for example, this cure that they're developing, that's going to really, really help just modern Japan in general. And so, the new generation of politicians have taken over from the old. Yeah, definitely. Therefore, everything the Alphabet Project was sponsoring will have to be reviewed. That's actually not as bad for them, because I mean, it will be definitely be bad for other people, but I think because Hinamazawa syndrome has a lot of medical impacts that could potentially save people's lives, still, even without the research, military related research, I think it's going to be likely. I mean, we do see this funding was actually reduced the 4th or 5th year, I don't know. Of course, the Irie Institute is one of those... Of course, the Irie Institute is one of those subsidiaries. Subsidiaries, what a word. That just sounds so nice to say on the tongue. Subsidiaries. Subsidiaries? Subsidiaries. Maybe that. No, it can't be that. I don't know. I understand. We can't do research without our sponsors afterwards. We'll give you our full cooperation. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think EDA is definitely doing the right thing, you know, just trying to appear in the good books, you know. EDA responded appropriately, but he's obviously bewildered. Yeah, definitely. The best equipment and staff are being provided to the EDA Institute. Oh, God. Hang on a second, so... Oh, shit, so is this... I would have assumed, like, the staff would have actually been workers, that they probably would have paid wages for the staff through funding that they were actually given from Tokyo. Related stuff from the government. And, yeah, that's also really bad with the equipment, because I thought they owned the equipment, but no, it was just being provided. Shit, that really is bad. In other words, our research requires a huge amount of money. Yeah, for those with no interest in Hinamazawa syndrome, they probably won't be able to understand why that much money is being put into the research of disgusting parasites. That's ridiculous, yeah. If they're simply going to revise our budget, that would be fine. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if the budget was cut, then that would make things harder, but at least the research wouldn't be over. We were receiving more than enough money. Yeah. That would naturally be adjusted. It hurts, but we can endure. Yeah, definitely. That's what I thought, but if just enduring it was enough, it wouldn't be a one on the die. That's fair enough, but the only thing is I don't really get... She shouldn't think that because she thinks that this situation is happening so bad, it's already predefined that it's going to be bad. Like, nothing is going to potentially save it. But the only thing is, you're just limiting yourself to all of the possibilities then. So even in that sense, this is definitely a world of a die coming up as a 1. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if it was a 1, then it would be really, really hard to endure, and it may potentially be impossible if the budget was cut so much.
でありまして、
Anyway, the new board of
この4
directors
月
was
に新体制の理
the
事会が
new
発足
board of
し、
directors
全プロジェク
was
トに対す
inaugurated
る新方
back
針
in
が示され
April,
ま
and
した。
they've outlined their new
これに
policies
つき
for
ましては、お
projects.
配りします
Oh
資
right, hang
料
on
を
a
ご
second.
覧
I
くだ
thought
さい。
directors for the EDA clinic. God, that was scary for a second. For more details, please look through the papers I'll be handing out. His papers were then passed around. He started to go over the details, but I read through quickly so I could learn about their stupid decisions first. Oh, interesting. Yeah, of course she doesn't like. I mean, these decisions are probably. I mean, they are definitely fair enough, and they are rational. But the only thing is, it's just they really are going to affect so many people, which is just a sad thing about them. So yeah, maybe they aren't the best. And that is really fair that Dokonor thinks they are stupid because it is affecting her research. She's really going to suffer because of this.
イリエ機関はこれま
The
で
EDA
精
Institute
神
has
的な
made
研
great
究におい
headway
て
in
数
uncovering the
々
mystery
の
of
目覚
Hinamizawa
ましい
symptom,
成果を
as
上
well
げ
as
られ、
creating a cure for the
未知
disease.
であった
I'm happy that
ヒナミザワ
they
症
actually
候群
realised
の
that
全
they
貌
are
を解明、
trying
そ
to
して
cure a
治
disease
療
here.
薬の開発を成し
That's
遂げました。
definitely a sign of hope there. The
理事会でもこの成
board
果
of
は
directors
大
is
変に高く
extremely
評価し、
pleased.
これもすべ
Brilliant.
て
That's
イリエ
really,
所長
really
以
good.
下
Oh
イリエ
my
機
god.
関全職員の
We
たゆみない
recognise
努
this is
力に
due
よ
to
る
the
ものと
unceasing
思って
efforts
おりま
of
す。
Director EDA and all the staff of the EDA Institute. Wow. That's actually really good. If they're extremely pleased, then you really wonder maybe their funding isn't going to be cut at all. Who knows though? That probably is too hopeful. Thank you.
恐縮です。
Even when he received their congratulations, a tense atmosphere surrounded me and EDA. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because they're just so scared about what they're going to say next. There's just like the but sentence. It's customary to start the conversation in the opposite way you're planning to take it before delving into your main point to convey. Yep. Yeah. If the main issue is something good, then it will start with something bad. Or vice versa. Yeah, definitely. But the only thing is, if they're starting with something really good, then you wonder if it may be really something bad. Who knows?
イリエ機関の研
The
究目
EDA
的
Institute
は
has
2つあり
main,
ました。
two main intentions.
ヒナミ
One
ザワ
was to
症候
study
群
the
の
disease
研
of
究
the
と治療法
and
の
hopefully
確
find a
立、
cure. The other was to
そして
assess the
多
possibility
面
of
運用
using
の模索です。
utilizing the disease for military applications. Yeah, definitely, and I'm really happy that I understand that. They're very well informed, it looks like.
The 新生理事会はこの後者の多面運用の模索については即時の中止を決定しました。これらの研究開発が国内で行われていた事実と痕跡は今後はむしろアキレス腱になりかねません。
What is an Achilles? It sounds like Achilles heel tendonitis. A weakness in spite of overall strength. Oh, right. So it looks like heal, literally, to do to the foot. Oh my god. Holy shit, so... You've got to be kidding me. Achilles tendon is actually... this is a thing in the foot as well. Achilles tendon rupture is basically where, you know, like, where if you put your finger on your ankle and then you just put it right up, that sort of tendon that allows you to actually move your foot sort of up and down, and it especially helps when pressing your foot down on the ground to walk. That can actually rupture. That's fucking scary. Ugh. God. Must cease all related research and destroy any results. Interesting. Yeah, and I do really find it interesting that even though Dokonor knows this, she doesn't. Because Tomitake didn't exactly die from, I don't know. Or Yashiro-sama's curse. That's a good one.
わかりました。
I understand. I will comply.
ご指示に従います。
Yeah. Iriga replied with that immediately. Iriga was assertive about finding a cure, but never even remotely interested in researching the disease's use for military purposes. And if anything, that's the thing he didn't want to. I don't really think Dokonor was either. I mean, do you think with Dokonor, like, all she really wants to do is get the exposure of the disease out and continue her grandfather's legacy? She doesn't really care about the military uses, I'd assume. So I'm sure he has no qualms about concurring with such demands. Yeah, definitely. But I don't agree. Interesting, because our research will be more limited if we're just trying to find a cure. Interesting. To me, finding that cure is simply a byproduct of my larger goal of discovering everything about the syndrome. Yeah, so I suppose by doing that you could potentially need to discover, like, how to actually make the syndrome. But the only thing is, I mean, that's actually fair enough, but the only thing is she needs to realise that her curiosity, no matter how high it is, it can't always be met. And the thing is, if the government are interfering and they're genuinely cutting the resources, then this is not going to be the case. Also, regarding the EDA institution, we have decided to have you wrap your work. Oh my god! We've decided to have you wrap up your work within the next 3 years. Your budget will decrease gradually as well. I mean, to be fair, that probably isn't the worst thing because, you know, oh, what's it called? C107, I think it is. That medicine that was inserted into Satoko. That thing actually helped her and could potentially be a cure, so we don't really know anything about the cure currently and how close they are to finding one. But the only thing is, if they're not, then that's scary. But C107, that is a good sign of hope. Wait, please, we've only recently figured out anything about the syndrome, and there's more we have to learn about in order to create a better cure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's so scary though. 3 years is, I mean, it is a lot of time, but the only thing is, keep in mind, these people were recessed, they have so much to do. Is it really a lot of time? It's gonna be so stressful, my god. We're making progress, but I can't guarantee we'll come up with a complete cure within the next 3 years. Yeah, definitely. And the only thing is that's really sort of concerning, what if they don't come up with a cure, and as a result, what are they going to do with their research, and what are they going to do with everything that they've actually made with the EDA Institute, and what are they going to do for future employment as well? Well, they're going to be very highly qualified with researchers, so I'm assuming they would be able to find something, but still, it'd just be awful. Like, having to give up this. Well, they are going to have to, but still.
理事会では入江機関はすでに治療薬について十分な研究を完成させているという認識です。すでに入江機関は治療薬 C117 を完成させ、その臨床データを多数
has a great deal of clinical data. Oh, looks like he's being interrupted. Who the fuck is going to interrupt him, apart from Dakanor? But like, still, I do not believe she's going to interrupt a government official. No, it's not even close to being completed. It's still only a prototype, and we are far away from being able to see a cure for all the villages. Oh, I thought Dakanor was gonna, like, you know, go into a rage. Nah.
このような段階で研究終了ありきでの議論は全くもって無謀としか言いようがありません。
Research at this stage can only be described as absolutely, positively reckless. That's fair enough, yeah. I'm surprised that EDO objected. Yeah, definitely, but the only thing is, are you really unhappy about it? Yeah, fair enough. Thanks to him, I didn't have to say anything. But if EDO hadn't objected, I'm sure I would have shrieked in protest. I think it's very good that EDO objected. In other words, the EDA Institute is not yet capable of curing all the people who are infected or to fully eradicate the syndrome, is that correct? Yeah, but the only thing is they haven't developed the cure yet. They haven't finished their vital steps that they would need to take to actually find a cure. Yes, of course, curing all the villagers and eradicating the syndrome will be possible in the future. That's our ultimate goal. But I need more time and, of course, funding to do that. I agree, and definitely for eradicating the syndrome in the future, that is going to be a long thing. I mean, that is such a big problem that would actually need to be eradicated, would actually need to disappear. It'd be so hard to get an entire disease that infects anybody that comes into a village, out of the village. That'd take a little bit more than 3 years, unless you were like a literal god. Find a practice that works and establish it as a product. This isn't a job where you can follow a blueprint to create something with certainty in a set time frame. Yeah, definitely. So we hope that you will avoid following that misconception. Yeah, definitely. I guess Ilya speaks out when he needs to. He definitely doesn't. He does it very, very well. Yeah. And what he's saying is absolutely right. Yeah. Research isn't something guaranteed to produce results with money and time. Yeah. I disagree with some of the things he said. He's objecting about the time and the money, but he's basically agreeing to the limit of our research only towards finding a cure from Higurashi syndrome. Yeah, fair enough. That won't do. We won't unravel any mysteries that way. At that rate, the discovery of Higurashi syndrome won't be recognised as my grandfather's great achievement. Shit. Now, but the only thing is, I think she is being too one-sided about this, because she's going to have to let this ideal go of being able to research the military sort of way. She's going to have to, so, yeah. I really do wonder, is she going to say something, or is she maybe going to, you know, just suffer in silence? I see your point. I think the purpose here is to dispose of the fact that this research was conducted for military purpose.
軍事目的の研究が行われていたことの完全な破棄です。よって、南沢症候群という特殊現象が研究されていた痕跡と、そもそも存在していた事実についても隠蔽すべきであると考えます。
Interesting. So they're actually needing to hide its... So why would they need to hide the existence of the disease just because it has military connections? Like, I suppose maybe it could be traced, but at the same time I don't really know.
If you can eradicate the disease without anybody ever learning about it, then we will give you the time and funding required. Interesting. But we'll discuss more about that later. Is that acceptable? I do think it is really good, but the only thing is, if this disease is entirely secret, then firstly, what about the people that already know about it? And secondly, like, I mean, I suppose it's really not that bad, because the people that do actually know about it, they're not exactly going to complain to the government or something like that. They don't really have much influence, but yeah, just really taking the biggest breath I can here. Yeah, it's just kind of scary to think, like, why are people going to agree to take vaccines that they don't even know are going to help? I do find it really interesting, you know, the Rika, you remember when she was actually in the sort of junkyard when she actually spotted Dinner, and then she offered a syringe. I wonder if that was C-117. But I wonder how she actually got that though. Maybe she talked to Hideo or something like that. Who knows? We're probably going to see that in the fragment of Higurashi. I really hope those fragments, they explain a lot about what's happened. Yes, I have no problem. Yeah, definitely. では、入江機関はできるだけ早急に南沢症候群撲滅を秘密裏に行えるプランと予算案を作成・提出してください。極力ご指示を汲み取れるよう努力します。
That's really good that they are actually going to do their best. I mean, even though this whole funding thing hasn't actually had the best of implications, it's still good that they are in favour of it. Thank you. I'll work on it immediately. Brilliant. Please don't misunderstand that it's our intention to halt the research immediately. We want to see the best possible outcome for your work. Please understand that. Yeah, and I mean, I suppose that is definitely true, because they do... I mean, if they didn't want to see the best outcome for the work, they would have thought, this thing, it's military based, fuck it. Nah, they really are, But the only thing is, I think if they really did want to see the best possible outcome for the work, I don't really get why they've sort of initially decided to do a time limit. But at the same time, these people don't really understand the full nuts and bolts of research, so that could potentially be a good sort of reason to think through. Yes, of course, I understand. Yeah, yeah. While I was listening to their conversation, I was struck dumbfounded by something they said. Yeah, that kind of doesn't surprise me. Eradicating the syndrome in secrecy. Yeah, definitely. In other words, it would be like Hinamizawa syndrome never existed. And that would be really bad because like that's such a big part of Hinamizawa's history. Just completely gone. But the only thing is that a lot of people don't know it at the moment, so maybe it wouldn't really be the most significant thing. So my grandfather's name will never be revered by anyone. Shit, that's actually really true. God. That is scary. I mean, oh my god. That really is just... This is going to change everything for her. I'm actually really scared that this could potentially, you know, really decrease her motivation to actually do things. Because if her grandfather's work isn't actually going to be recognised because of the research being done in secrecy, then she may think, what is the point? I mean, but to be fair though, I don't really think that's going to be the case because she has a big passion of sort of unveiling the mysteries of this, which is really, really good. The sounds of rustling papers and hushed proceedings filled the meeting room, but I only heard the ticking clock as I clutched my sweating palms. Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, she must be really, really stressed now. I don't blame her. Alright, so that's the end of it. God, that was actually really interesting. That is scary. I really, really do wonder what the sort of implications of this research sort of decision are potentially going to be. It's really, really scary to think, oh, look at that, another completed row. What about what's next? So that's interesting. So there's going to actually be completion of another medicine, even deja vu. Right, my predictions, this medicine is actually going to be tested on Satoshi, because the medicine tested on Satoko for high level Hinamizawa syndrome, that happened, and now an even better medicine is going to be tested on Satoshi, I suppose. I wonder if the medicine is going to be made by Takono. That's really, really interesting though. I just really wonder what's going to happen. So why am I dwelling when I could, like, you know, for example, read out my eyes? I did not expect that, sorry. That was just so random. Oh, yeah, that really doesn't surprise me. This must have affected her a lot. And too right, so maybe we should wrap up for now. I don't think you're in the mood today. That's not true. Sorry I gave you that impression. Oh, she doesn't have to lie. I mean, look at her face. What does it look in the other art styles? Oh, I love the original one. I don't really like the, you know, this one, but I like the original one. Takono-san has been looking through the viewfinder, but I haven't seen her push the shutter at all. Oh, that's really unfortunate. I mean, I suppose if this relationship is genuine, which I think at the moment it does sort of seem genuine, but the only thing is I don't really understand, like, how it came to the point what happened in Minagoroshi. Because of what happened in Minagoroshi, I'm really suspicious of whether this is genuine or not. Oh, but that's just really sad. Like, she really is trying to sort of just be as nice as she can to Tomitake, but yeah, it just doesn't really feel like it. And sentences like this are what make me think at the moment the relationship is genuine. Maybe this turn in the research changed it. Who knows? While she came along, I don't think she's in the mood for bird watching. Yeah, fair. Takono-san has been depressed ever since the announcement of the new policies at the board meeting the other day. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, it's a big thing for her. She's not only lost somebody, but she may have lost, like, You do keep in mind that, like, she's been working up to this goal for her entire life. And just for it to be changed like that, it is really scary. That's understandable. Yeah, the EDA Institute was created by her in the first place. That too, yeah. It was created so that she could devote her life to researching Namazawa syndrome. Yeah, for all that to be tossed aside while being asked to wrap up the work within a few years, of course she's depressed. Yeah, definitely. Besides, she can't even fully spend the rest of her time left on research. Their funding was being cut in stages, and by the end they're weird. Oh shit! That's really bad. The funding was being cut in stages, and by the end they'd barely be able to finish closing up, let alone research anything. God, so they don't have 3 years. That's actually a figure of speech. They probably... That's actually interesting. I'm assuming by the time 3 years have actually passed, the funding isn't going to be something that's going to be no more. It's going to be that it's just going to suddenly be no more. I was always under the impression that like they were going to get gradually just less funding, but no, they're getting funding and then less funding and then less funding until the funding actually results in nothing. That's just going to be so scary. But like, how are they going to do this? They have so much less time than 3 years. I heard that she's the granddaughter of the late Dr. Takano. Yep, you definitely heard. Her determination to finish her grandfather's research is what kept her going until today. Yeah, since everything has been going so smoothly until recently, this sudden change in the wind's direction must have been a total shock. Definitely, yeah. The shift in people pulling the strings must have been pretty serious. Yeah, definitely, yeah. The board of directors was completely changed out. Oh my god, so they were actually completely restaffed. Damn. So I'm assuming like all of the old people had to resign. God. The board of directors was completely, well, not really old people, the older generation. The board of directors was completely changed out, and she heard that people and projects influenced by the Koizumi faction were being restructured to set an example. Damn. So it's not only just hers. I really don't want to which other projects, but that is so sad though. It's just really, it really is such a shame that like, I mean, this is really bad timing the day he actually died, because even with, no, actually, hang on a second, I'm not really thinking the right thing. Because of his bigger political influence, they weren't allowed to do this, but now that they are. Now that they can, they are. It's just really sad that like he dies and this is what happens after. Like the second he dies. The wind's new direction seems likely to remain for a long time. Yeah, definitely. It won't change. It's highly unlikely that the Koizumi faction will come back into power. Yeah, definitely. So no matter what we say, it's almost impossible to expect the same kind of support from them. Yeah. Isn't there something we can do? Yeah, Tomitake really has to be like the saving grace here, because yeah, you need to take a mind of things. But what can you take a mind of? Isn't there something we can do? That one was unmuttered. Unfortunately, there isn't. There is nothing anybody can do. Yeah, that's the saddest thing. I mean, I suppose in this situation it's so bad that the only thing they can do is just work around the issue and maybe potentially try and find something close to a cure. Who knows?
最初、理事会では即時研究を中止という話も出たんだ。それをなんとか納得させて、数年間で段階的に終了というところまで勝ち取ってくれたんだよ。
So I'm assuming the convincing was actually done by Tomitake's lot, but still, if the convincing wasn't actually done, then that is really scary to think like what would have happened. Just it all having gone so suddenly. I really wonder what Dogna would have actually done, and just what her future would have been like.
The
people who helped us when the EDA Institute was first created are the ones who managed that. Oh, wow. So hang on a second, those are the bureaucrats that they were in that they were in that massive sort of hall. I can't remember whose hall it was. Was it the university alumni place, or was it alumni or whatever? It's just such a weird word, but was it that or another place? I can't actually remember. No, it was some sort of restaurant that they were partying in. But yeah, I think it was the bureaucrats from then. I see. Well, it looks like the worst case scenario is actually somebody else's hard-earned victory, huh? It is?
それでも陰で誰かが勝ち取ったギリギリの成果なのね。
それで勝ち取った期間がせいぜい3年なんだ。僕も一応努力はしたんだよ。高野さんが今日までに作った資料を理事。
それでも3年でおしまいなのね。
Wow, that's actually really not something I was expecting. This is weird, and I don't like. No, I'm just kidding. Only 3 more years, huh? I'm actually really happy that like all of this positive conversation is actually starting to make her see hope. Maybe Dokumazan doesn't understand how hard I try to convince them. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, good for him. Really good for him. And that's actually good for her as well. They can really see like the good relationship they've maintained has really, really, I don't know, got everything everything she wanted from it, really. Because what she just said tells me the length of time left really doesn't matter to her. The important thing is that research is being stopped. Yeah, that's fair enough. The fact is that I couldn't meet her expectations and made her feel disappointed as a man. It kind of hurts. No, but the only thing is you could think that, or you could think you tried your best, and if you're in an environment where you can't possibly, I don't know, you can't possibly get better than what you've got, then yeah, you've done your best, even though this is the sad outcome of it. The best I can do at this point is route as much funding as possible towards the research so you can work to your heart's content for the few years we have left. Sorry, I can't do anything else. Still, that's a lot actually, because do keep in mind that Tomitake is an auditor, so he probably would have a lot of sources he would actually be in charge of the funds from. I wouldn't be surprised. That's okay.
それが二郎さんにできる精一杯なのなら。
Nice, yeah.
それでとても嬉しいもの。
That's okay. If that's the best you can do, then I'm very happy. Yeah. Oh, her words hurt me. I wish she'd chosen different ones, but I think that would be asking too much from someone so heartbroken. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I must be understanding of her pain at a time like this. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Besides, I know how close she was to the... Yeah, definitely. Besides, I know how close she was to the deceased Koizumi sensei. She even called him uncle. Yeah. To her, his death is not just the start of a coup or a change in direction. She lost the person who was always looking after her. Yeah, definitely. No matter how hard she pushed herself to act villainous, she wasn't supposed to be part of this world. She was just an ordinary woman. It's actually very interesting that Tomitake actually thinks that. I mean, I suppose definitely good that, like, her ambitions have actually led her to be here, but without any of these people, she would just be an ordinary woman. I couldn't agree more. But the only thing is, I don't really get why she would push herself to act villainous. I suppose when you say villainous, maybe it could potentially be like the thoughts that Tomitake, I mean Takano actually wants to overcome Oyasuno-sama, you know, wants to prove and really sort of destroy everything related to Hinamizawa and just dethrone the god, really. I suppose that could potentially be villainous, but the only thing is I don't really get how he would know about that. But she was intrigued by Hinamizawa syndrome, and she had to find help from somebody who had more power than her to be able to continue research on it. Yeah, definitely. The dark side of this world, the world she should have never gotten involved in, extended its hands out to her. She was left all by herself in that world, and she's still trying to put on a brave face. So the dark side of the world, I don't really get what that's referring to, because I don't know. I'm sure Tomoza thinks I'm unreliable. Realistically, I'm not the kind of person who can meet her expectations, nor do I have the power to. Yeah, definitely. The least I can do for her is stay sincere and remain her ally until the very end. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I suppose if this is one of the stories like Minagoroshi, for example. No, not Minagoroshi. But like, I mean, until the very end of his life, really. Just kind of sad that, like, that was literal. I mean, the only thing is when Takano became really, really corrupt in the end of Minagoroshi, then obviously he had to step down, but before that, he was the ally. Always. Who knows, though? Now, hang on a second, he wasn't actually, because there was a choice that Takano was actually asking to switch sides or something like that. So I'm assuming it's probably Tomitake on EDS side and Takano and the Mountain Dogs side. I don't really know what it'd be like, though. We're probably going to learn about that more soon. I do find it really interesting. I wonder if this could potentially be referring to, you know, the orphanage world. But at the same time, the dark side of this world, maybe that could just be the research part. And, you know, just how awful it is, really. Yeah, since she has so much room to act, it's harder for her to determine what actions to take when she's concerned. Interesting. That's actually really interesting that Dokono and Tomitake genuinely thinks that, like, Dokono is just sort of... She's not really faking these feelings, but the only thing is it's just... I don't really know how to put it. She's trying to put on a brave face for people when in reality she is really, really just crumbling inside, you know? Crumbling inside, kill me. Well, just don't imagine that. I wanted to believe that she wouldn't, but I'm concerned that she might do something drastic eventually. Yeah, that's actually really... That's fair enough, because losses, they do really, really change people for the worse sometimes. Yeah, and it's actually kind of funny you think that, because... Yeah, let's just think about what happens in the 5th year. I hope I can be of help to her in that very final moment before she makes her move. Yeah, it's actually really interesting that he thinks that, because no, he wasn't. If anything, he was the person who fucking got killed by them. I think her corruption starts the second she doesn't dispose of the military things. That's when the selfishness really hits, I suppose. But I can't even gain enough. Yeah, but I can't even gain enough trust from her to do that. How pitiful and pathetic. He is really being hard on himself at the moment. I mean, God. I mean, even though that he can't meet her wildest desires, he is still in such a good man to talk on. Like, oh, it's just... But at the same time, it is really sad that, like, the trust thing is an issue, even though he has been a really good man. Yeah. Of course, part of it is, as a man, I want her to rely on me. Yeah. But that's not really it. She's been abandoned in this world and is all alone. So somebody has to be her ally. God, I just really found it interesting that, like, Tomitake knows so much. Or maybe it's on some sort of record. I think it could potentially be likely that Tomitake is maybe, like, dug into Tokono, you know, without her consent and everything. Maybe he knows about the orphanage and the parent thing. Because, yeah, like, abandoned in this world. Somebody with parents wouldn't be abandoned. They still have people to go to, I suppose. And I suppose abandoned could potentially be true as well. I mean, I get that she does have EDA, but he's just a work partner to her. And if I'm the only one who knows about that, then being her ally is my job. Yeah, that's fair enough. Good for him. I mean, I really do just like how much of a caring person he is. I know her too well. Yeah. Oh, interesting, yeah. I know her too well, so I know that she will never ask for help. Fair enough. Even if she says it's unnecessary, somebody has to be with her. I know that. I don't really think I'm suited for that job. I'm sure that there are many reliable people out there who are more appropriate for the position than me. But I can't let her be alone until that person a bit. Yeah, definitely, yeah. The only thing is, maybe the people have already appeared because of the mountain dogs. Who knows? Takano-san, I know I'm pathetic and unreliable.
全然頼りがいもないし、みっともない男かもしれないけど。
What's this all of a sudden? What is it, Jiro-san? Oh my god! Oh shit! Takano probably thinks that he's doing a proposal. But I think I can be of help to you, so...
頼ってもらえたら、きっと力になれることもあると思うんだ。
ありがとう。
Thank you, but I don't believe that talking to people helps you feel better.
喋るだけでも心が
Though I'm happy to hear that you're concerned, I really am.
信じてないの。
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the last one isn't really the worst to hear,
気
but
に
the
して
only
も
thing
らえ
is...
るだけでもとても
Yeah,
嬉しいわよ。
so sort of a... I don't know, a really sort of predicted response from her. Interesting that she doesn't actually believe that. Okay, that's fine. I'll always be on your side. Please believe that, okay? Yeah, and I really like that.
ずっと味方だから。
Yeah, don't...
それだけは信じていてほしいな。
もちろん信じてるわ。
If you think of a good idea
理事会をうまく説得できる方法があったら
Yeah, yeah, that's fair enough. Because
教えて
the
ね。
only thing is I don't really know if that had happened, but I suppose you could definitely try. Sure, I'll do my best.
僕なりにも
Yeah.
努力してみるよ。
Why is it? I know she's such a strong person and there's nothing someone like me can do for her. Oh, there is. I mean, even though she is such a strong person normally, I mean, she's so weak at the moment just because of everything that's been happening around her. And Tomitake, he's not really affected as much by it. He's just the person seeing the effects, I suppose. But somehow, I feel like she needs help and support right now. She looks as tough as ever, but only I, who's been... It's a little bit weird. Who's been taking pictures of her all this time, can tell. A viewfinder, after all, is also a window to look into somebody's heart. So is a viewfinder part of a camera? Yeah, it is, right. Oh, right, that actually makes sense, yeah. Interesting. But if I say something like that, she'll tease me again, so I won't. No, but the only thing is, if you actually get her into a mood that would allow her to feel like teasing somebody, then is that a bad thing? Anyway, I never thought she needed support more strongly than I do now. Yeah, definitely. Alright, so that's the end. Yeah, that really doesn't surprise me that, like, she's obviously really affected by it. I mean, who wouldn't be? If anything, because of how big and important this is, I think she's actually going with it kind of well. No, she definitely is. Right, this is going to be really interesting. This is going to be the last thing we read, I think. Yeah, it is. Right, this is going to be interesting. So, hang on a second, can we actually read this? Because... yeah, we can. Interesting. So, I wonder when the completion of the medicine of C-117 was actually made. Maybe it was in, like, the 3rd year or the 4th year, who knows. Right, this is going to be interesting, though. Hey, Nakagawa-kun. Long time no see. Still with it lately? You know, that?
いえいえ、もうさっぱり年は取りたくないもんですな。
It's no fun getting old. I wonder what Nakangawa actually did. It kind of sounds like a familiar name. I don't know why.
クレイやるときは集中してやらないとダメだよ。あんまり間を空けすぎると勘が鈍っちゃって意味ない意味ない。
And put it off for a long time, your senses get dull and there's no point. Oh, interesting. So this man was a clay person. I've never really seen a clay person in Higurashi. It just kind of sounds like a really weird thing that would be very unusual and wouldn't fit at all. So yeah, I haven't.
先生、ご紹介します。
Allow me to introduce someone.
高野さんさです。
Oh, this is interesting. This is Major Takano. What would she be having with a clay working company? I don't know.
はじめまして。
Very nice to meet you.
本日はお忙
Thank
し
you
い
for
中、
taking me to meet you.
お時間をお割きくだ
Thank
さい
you
まし
for
て
taking
ありが
time
とう
to
ござい
meet
ま
with
す。
me today. I truly appreciate it. So I really wonder what she's actually aiming to achieve from this meeting. And I do wonder, because these fragments are jumbled, I really wonder if this is going to be the fragment just after the one we've read. But assuming that it's the only one we can actually unlock at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the case. I really didn't make time for you, actually. Damn. I was told that I could have some good raw sea urchins. Sea urchins are good for you, did you know? Rich in vitamin A and they're good for your skin. What does vitamin A do? I'm curious. It helps your body's natural defense against illness and infection. Okay, fucking hell, that is... So, in other words, the immune system. That is very helpful. Helping vision in dim light. Wow. Keeping skin and the lining of some parts of the body, such as the nose, healthy. That's really interesting. That is very big. I love this guy, though. He's very honest, at least. That's probably going to be an advantage. Women like sea urchins, right? Oh, I get the joke. Bruh, this dude. It is true that sea urchins are rich in vitamin A, but compared to spinach, it's not anything that's worth making a fuss about. Well, that's interesting. I never actually realised that. So spinach is actually better. Damn. And it's something that I've ate a lot of. Well, none of that matters right now. Yeah, he does seem like an unpleasant man, so I wanted to criticise him. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though this person is joking, I mean, is this really an appropriate time to do it? And especially because, like, you know, just you meet somebody and then you're making jokes like, where is it? This. Like, you really think that's a good thing to do? These men are the directors of the Alphabet Project. They're that informal, and yet they are the directors of the Alphabet Project. That is concerning. I mean, I suppose I definitely get that, like, their positions have definitely led them into really, really good things. But at the same time, it's just really surprising that people like this would run it. But does that really surprise me at the same time? I mean, look at the intentions and how bad they were. So, yeah. Of the actual organisation itself. There are also people who are involved who are in the position of being able to offer their opinions to those directors. Right. To put it in a simpler way, they're the new owners of the EDA Institute. Well, that's actually fair enough, yeah. I mean, I suppose if they control the funding, then they will control everything that could potentially happen, but yeah, I suppose that is what an owner does in a really big business. The only thing they do is control the funding and the budgeting, and I suppose the logistics and the new buildings, the factories, and obviously where the products are sold. That is if the staff that are really, really high up in the company wouldn't do that, because they would. No, I don't really know what an owner in a business would do. I suppose the owners would probably make the biggest decision, but the only thing is, in like really, really big companies, like for example Coca-Cola, I'm sure that like the owner wouldn't, for example, I'm assuming there'd be a lot of marketing professionals really, really high up that would definitely help the owner actually decide, but I'm assuming they'd submit all their designs, let's say a new logo or something like that, they'd probably submit all their designs, and the owner would probably have the decision of like which one looks best and which one would go the best with the brand. I don't know though, it's kind of interesting to think about. Although not as much as Uncle Koizumi was, they are also leaders and influencers in various fields. Right. I have to be very careful not to upset them. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. You gotta play along with the joke then, my god. These people are very important. I just don't really get what she's trying to get from this. And therefore, there's no way I would have had the ability to call them in. By using the influence that the Koizumi faction once had, I finally managed to get this chance. Oh, right, yeah, that's fair enough. And especially because Takano was really regarded highly by Koizumi, that's definitely not a bad thing in this situation. Uncle Koizumi, who gave me his full support and made everything go my way, is not here anymore. Yeah, definitely. Sadly, that's true. I'm on my own from this point on, and I will open up a path. But this stage just doesn't belong to me today. I can't let the people who offered me this chance lose face, so I have to wait patiently it's done until it's my turn. Yeah. It's interesting that she actually thinks that she's on this, that she's on her own with this situation. My primary objective today is to explain what a prominent research subject that Hinamazawa syndrome is, and to acquire an indefinite extension for our research. Right, yeah, fair enough. They only ever think about money. Oh, right, yeah, definitely. So they aren't even realising the hidden potential of Hinazawa syndrome. If she says the hidden potential, I mean, I don't really think they care about curing, because these people are probably money-making people that only care about that. But the only thing is, I wonder if there could potentially be some sort of thing that would allow, because military weapons, they make a ton of money, so I really do wonder if, like, the illegal production of military weapons could potentially become a theme in this. Who knows? They don't recognise that it's worth spending a lot of money on. Yeah. This is not a mere research on the existence of an unknown parasite, but something that may overthrow the basic foundations of anthropology. What is anthropology? Is it the study of the mind? The scientific study of humanity concerned with human behaviour, biology, cultures, societies and linguistics in both the present and past. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Right. A Nobel Prize wouldn't even be enough. God. She really is selling herself in her head. It wouldn't be easy trying to explain all that to men who knew nothing about any of it, but I have to. Yeah, no, I suppose so, because these people, they aren't really scientific people, but they are where the money lies, so, yeah. Yeah, she really needs to try her best here. I'm just kind of scared they're going to laugh it off. That's why I spent many hours making these straightforward support documents. Interesting. Sometimes we make documents confusing on purpose because oh, I love that. Sometimes we make documents confusing on purpose because we don't like dealing with uneducated people, but this time it's different. I can't look down at them, and I sincerely try to make them understand. Yeah, definitely, so I'm assuming these documents are going to be as simple as possible. Or maybe they're going to be really confusing, who knows. The accessible support documents are there in a huge pile. Oh, hang on a second, so were these the same support documents that were given out by the government? No, they can't be. No, it wouldn't be. God, I'm really tired at the moment. It feels like we're wasting time eating traditional Japanese food in such a relaxed mood. Yeah, so they're actually eating as well. Wow. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, just eating like the most traditional meal, and then at the same time you're just going to pass like the most, probably one of the biggest proposals of your entire life. Maybe arguably one of, probably easily in the top 5 or maybe even top 3. I want to get to the point and explain to them in detail so they can understand. Yeah. But it's the same. Luck lies in the last helping. Yeah, interesting. So I suppose you have to wait as long as possible for luck to actually exist. I have to be action right now. Yeah. Oh, interesting that they're, out of every background they could have used, they're using this one. To be frank, I thought the alphabet that we've seen wasn't that good. In the end, it's been nothing but a sandbox for the Goddamn affair. Head's still stuck in the Pacific War. Yeah, interesting take. I don't really know. I think the Alphabet Project had good and bad implications. Goods were really good, bads were really bad. It's kind of hard to come to a conclusion. I think that the sandbox for the old men to craft their dreams of imperial Japan's world with money that isn't theirs. Do you know how much public funding was wasted on those divisions? Damn, so public funding was actually wasted as well. I didn't realise that. Yeah, that's actually really scary, especially if these people were money men. Oh god, this is not a good start.
聞いた話じゃ、奥野先生あたりが検察をつっついて旧理事会を横領で追わせてるらしいですな。
from what I've heard, there are already prosecutors poking people like Okuno Sensei and trying to pin embezzlement on the old board of directors. Damn! Hang on a second, so I'm assuming Okuno is like a person working on the board of directors that was actually in favour of the Alphabet Project, so as a result was doing embezzlement? That's insane. That really is. Especially because of how high up he is in terms of position. Is he ever trying to suck up to those old men? Damn. Of course, none of it can be made public, so I guess they'll be held responsible or demoted in another form. Yeah. This is what Hunter gets for letting those ghosts of the war run around freely all this time. Yeah, no, I suppose in the point of view of these people, they are getting everything they deserve for this. Boy, these grill sea urchins are fantastic. God, you can just really tell these people, they really don't give a shit at the moment. This is going to be very, very hard. I really get the impression that this is going to be as hard as talking to a brick wall. Like, genuinely. Well, this is harsh. This is extremely difficult to ask this of you all when you feel that way, but might have a moment of your time. I wonder what Nakagawa is actually going to say. Hang on a second, is Nakagawa one of the staff members of the EDA Institute? You're from the EDA Institute. Right, you're from the EDA Institute. God, they don't even know it. That's so funny. You're researching some kind of local disease in Nagano or Gifu, right? What's going on down there? The board has decided to hold research for military applications. The research project itself is to wrap up within 3 years as well. Oh no, sorry, that's still being discussed. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I really wonder if it could potentially be, you know, a later release date, later end date even. Who knows?
まあそのいずれにしましても数年以内に閉鎖になる予定です。
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh my god, I thought him saying yes, I thought he was like really happy that his work was going to be shut down. Their work even. Yes, I remember now. The EDA Institute had a bad reputation even among the old board of directors. Yeah, fair enough. It's like a huge fund with barely any inspections. That actually kind of surprises me that they have barely any inspections, even though they quote-unquote sucked up huge funds. God.
某大先生
I
が
don't know
ど
why,
う
but
いう
something
わけ
high
か
up kept pushing
こ
it
のプ
for
ロジ
some
ェクトを
reason.
やたら
Yeah,
後押しさ
definitely,
れて
that's
たみたい
Koizumi.
でして
Yeah.
ね
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting to think, like, without Koizumi, they wouldn't have actually had the funding to do this in the first place.
その絡みもあって
Because of that, nobody could really say anything about it.
誰も文
It
句
was
が言え
left
ずに放
alone.
置されて
Yeah,
きたっての
definitely.
が
And
実
that
際の
really
よ
was
う
a
で
good
す
situation for Takono's lot, because that meant they were able to do a lot of research. But you know,
もう大
like,
先
I
生
love
は
the fact.
女癖が悪かったからそれもあ
Oh
ったのか
no
もしれません
way!
な
How uninformed could you get? But you know, like I love to flirt around with women, so maybe that has something to do with it. Is he implying that I slept with Uncle Koizumi? What the fuck? Ugh. He's insulting both of us. Yeah, definitely. But I held my anger in. I can't let myself be bothered by something like this. Yeah, I agree. These people are complete dicks, but yeah, from what we've seen at least, then definitely not Elisis, but she needs to not get mad, you know?
So それで本日は当機関の研究内容について説明させていただき、当機関に対する理事会の決定についてどうかご再考をお願いしたいと思いましてお時間を頂戴させていただきました。本日はこのような場へご多忙な中お越しいただきましたことを深く御礼申し上げます。
She's already said that though.
ま、ただ
Well,
で
I
海
guess
が
they
出
don't
て
give
くる
out
わ
free
けはないって
searches
こ
for
とですな。
nothing, huh? I love that he always says that. Yeah, this dude definitely sounds like someone that's not going to really pay attention to technical stuff. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you don't even listen to that and you just hop straight onto the second point, yeah. I explained to them how much Higurashi syndrome mattered while being very careful not to go too far. Yeah, definitely. She needs to go slowly. I mean, these people literally have no clue about the science of it. I tried to let them know that the syndrome. The syndrome's potential is not limited to small things like military applications, but is much more meaningful than that. Yeah, definitely. It may explain ideology and religion. Yeah. And I mean, the only thing is we don't really know this. I think it's very unlikely that it wouldn't, obviously, but like, yeah, it could. These people don't know. It may even shape the very definition of a human being. Took my time to explain as slowly and clearly as possible. Yeah. I'm not confident that all of it had gone through to those boorish men. The boorish men, or however you say that. But I'm happy if they understood even just a part of it. Yeah. As long as they understand how much of a magnificent discovery Higurashi syndrome really is. Yeah. Right, this is going to be interesting. I wonder what they're actually going to say. Thank you, Major. Well, I think it's definitely going well if this guy has literally sort of, you know, just always quit his joking around manner and actually became serious. That's something, I suppose. Thank you, Major. I see. Well, he's definitely thinking. We would like to discuss among ourselves, so could you please excuse yourself? Oh God! That must be so scary, that. Yes. Thank you. Obviously, they can't discuss in front of me. Yeah. I left all the documents with them. All I can do now is hope they view them favourably. Yeah, me too. I really wonder if they are going to. Oh boy. I left the room and closed the sliding door. The room next door is a preparation room, so I was to head there. Alright. But I stopped. I shouldn't have done it, but I tried. Oh my God! That is naughty. Fucking hell. But I stopped. I shouldn't have done it, but I tried to listen in through the sliding door. Well, I don't know what to say. I feel sorry for everyone on the previous board of directors. That's not good.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Koizumi sensei
puts this so strongly. This doesn't sound good.
小泉先生にはローベル製薬日本法人の初代顧問に就任された時に一度お会いし、とても聡明な方だなという印象を強く持っていたのですが。
Pharmaceuticals, what a weird word. Pharmaceuticals, even pharmaceuticals. He seemed like a very intelligent person to me. Oh shit, hang on a second. So once they've heard the discussion, I think they're actually thinking that all the money he's blown into this was a stupid move. Shit, this is not good. The music is definitely emphasising that. I guess you can't just win against age. It makes you realise how important it is for you to pull out. Oh, no, but it is a fact that this very rare disease called Alzheimer's syndrome really exists. It does. Yeah. So not everything is a delusion. Yeah, definitely. So not everything? Hang on a second, this person thinks a bit of it is a delusion, so I'm actually kind of surprised that this person, I thought he was a person that actually worked at the clinic. What was that? I don't know. I swear I remembered seeing something about Nakagawa being a staff member, but maybe he's just sort of a really sort of high person in terms of the board of directors. I hear that the Irie Institute has already succeeded in identifying the disease and developing a treatment. Isn't that enough? No, it is not enough. I mean, look at Irie's point of view, like, not only have they barely found a cure, but the cure isn't reliable, it doesn't really work, they're not 100% sure about it, and they don't know as much, they don't know how to produce it in bulk, I suppose, and they also don't really know, like, I don't know, there's just so much they don't know.
現代日本にとって周辺諸国を過敏にさせる件については剣に慎むべきです。
In modern Japan, we have to be careful when things that might make neighboring countries nervous.
中でも軍事分野は最も敏感と言えるでしょう。
And military-related issues are the most sensitive ones. Yeah, definitely. But the only thing is that would be dealt with because it would be completely kept a secret.
So at the very least, we must have raised the fact that research for military purposes has been going on for the past few years immediately. Yeah.
Is that
separate from simply discontinuing the military research then? But the only thing is this isn't fully for military purposes though.
そう、南沢将校軍は生物兵器開発のための研究という事実は直ちに研究を中止したとしても残ります。
Shit, that is true. We should hide that fact no matter what purpose this research ends up being used for. If possible, it would be best if Hinamizawa's interest disappeared. Yeah, and I suppose if they did that secretly, it would, but the only thing is that is really, really bad. I think this could definitely be likely that maybe they're not gonna give funding. My eyes are really struggling at the moment, sorry. That's true. If the disease remains, there's somebody will become curious about it and dig up the hole we filled. That's fair enough.
理事会の決定通り、入江機関は病気を撲滅させ次第、研究の痕跡をすべて消した上で解散させるのがいいでしょう。
God, so that we've done. Oh my god. God, that really is a shame. I guess that's for the best. It's not even a matter of the Nobel Prize, it's just useless for post-war Japan. I don't really understand this though. How could it be useless? I mean, I just don't really get this because I guess it definitely would be useless in the military aspect, but what about the cure? What about the cure that's literally going to save the entire village from a potential really bad pathogen? Besides, this disease has existed for hundreds of years, right? And we've made it this far without any problems. You have not seen it 100 or maybe even 200 or no, let's say 300, 400, 500 years ago. My god. From the start, I thought this amounted to little more than just poking around in the bushes. What does he mean by that?
ひなみ沢症候群という病気の存在自体は疑わないが、この高野という第一発見者は少々この病気を脚色しすぎですな。
Interesting. I'm gonna be honest here, I do kind of agree with that. I think the whole thing about having made having thinking about hypothesis is related to just parasites potentially being in control of our the entirety of our ideals, our ideologies, our thoughts. I mean, it is a fair thought, I don't doubt that, but the only thing is I just kind of think it's a little bit too far. I've never really agreed with that part. It's never really... All the Higurashi syndrome stuff, fair enough, but I just don't really see stuff like this. Yeah.
私も資料を読みながらユニークな発想をする人だなぁと思っておった。第一、寄生虫で人の思想が染まるなんて聞いたことがない。
Heard of a parasite that's capable of controlling people's thoughts.
そりゃいくらなんでもひどすぎる。
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah. But the only thing is they... Yeah, it's really tricky to think because the only thing is the scientific people have proved that there are potentially things that are sending chemicals into mass amounts of chemicals that are stimulating itchiness, for example. But at the same time, that doesn't really explain the agitation and the fact that it thrives on... Maybe it could just be it thrives when the body is really stressed and, you know, most adrenaline is in the body. I don't know. If we try to explain religions with this, then Buddha, Christ, all those people would be... What was it again? Queen carriers. Interesting. If we tried exposing something like this, we'd be attacked by every nation on the planet. That's actually very true, yeah. Could you imagine if, like... I really wonder if, like, there's so many secrets about the world that have actually been uncovered, but because of things like these, they can't actually sort of reveal them. Religion is pretty scary nowadays. It is, my god. If there are parasites that live in animal brains, then I guess we can say there are parasites that live in human brains too. Yeah, but for them to control human thoughts... I mean, the thing is, these people are thinking that, like, these things that they have discovered, I mean, the only thing is they are sort of presenting it as objective fact, so... There isn't really any room for, like, but we're still working on this. This may not be the case at all. Yeah, it's kind of tricky, this, but it's fully understandable, these people's views. That's what research are. That's what research breakthroughs are. Like, really, really big ideas that seem massive and really don't seem like anything that has ever been discovered before. Maybe this could be one of them, who knows? That's a bit too unique. Oh god. Oh god. Oh yeah, fair enough. As I peeked in through the gap in the sliding door, I became trapped with an unbelievable sense of deja vu. Yeah, my god, this is probably one of the worst parts of her childhood. The only thing is I find it really interesting, that was the thing that woke her up. That was the thing that really made her want to aspire to the research goal. the question is, what is this going to make her wake up to? That is, if it makes her wake up to anything. Maybe a life without the research, who knows? I mean, that's not going to happen. This is Takano we're talking about. This is my first time experiencing this, but it doesn't feel that way. I don't know why, but this memory is so sad and so painful. Huh? Wait. Tears? Yeah, she's definitely remembering. I'm actually kind of surprised this isn't coming to, you know, like, straight to her. She should not be crying though. I mean, well, obviously she should, but the only thing is she should not be listening in. I mean, the fact that she's actually listening in, if they find that she's been crying and they've been finding out that, like, I don't know, like, breach of sort of private conversation, that's just really bad for them and their reputation. I mean, I suppose she can pass it out as something else, but still. Before I realised it, I saw a very... Before I realised it, I saw a very nostalgic carpeted room on the other side of the sliding door instead of a room covered in tatami mats. The room is filled with the smell of dust mixed with the smell of some evaporated medicine, but it's very soothing to me just the same. God, what a weird smell. Yeah, and there is my grandfather. His article that he poured his heart into was made a mockery of. Yeah, it wasn't even he wasn't, yeah. This isn't a delusion, because in the documents I left with those men, there were a lot of references to the article my grandfather wrote. Alright. So I'm not surprised for my grandfather to be standing right there, explaining it to them himself. Together with my tears from seeing the sight of my beloved grandfather, watch these men insult and belittle his masterpiece. Oh God, yeah. So I suppose because there were a lot of references to article, she can sort of imagine, like, him actually explaining it to them. Oh God, and she can sort of imagine, like, you know, the worst part of his research, what actually was the result of him trying so hard really with these bureaucrats. I've seen this site before. Yeah, definitely. And the site should have ended there. Yeah. But why is it repeating before my eyes? I can only blankly peek through the sliding door in this strange world where reality and illusion overlap. The major was a little strange. And Poison said she believed in something as ridiculous as this is a little strange too. But the strangest one of all is the person who wrote the sentence. Oh God. Oh no. I really wish she had never watched. Oh God. Oh, it's just really a shame that these people actually think it's ridiculous. I mean, the thing is now, like, obviously them getting help from them is completely out of the question, but now just not getting really upset by what they're saying is the challenge, I suppose.
期待と妄想が入り混じっていて、これは論文というより創作の次元ですな。というか、これはこのままどこかの出版社に持ち込んで本にした方がウケると思いますよ。
It really is like the one before. I mean, the thing is, I mean, because these theories are so ridiculous, they are sort of thesis fiction that people will consider. But the only thing is, I just really do think it's unfair. Yes. But at the same time, I don't really know. Is it unfair that the work that, because the work he's put so much time into is so ridiculous, because it's so ridiculous to society that this would be considered fiction? Who knows? Is it really ridiculous, or is it fair? It's just kind of hard to tell. But the only thing is it's kind of like, I think half of this research is just completely insane, but other half of it is really rational when it's researching something that's actually happening. I really think that more of this research should have been, I think their mistake here is pointing the focus of the research to less to what they're actually trying to cure, but more to like the context and the beginnings and the beginning theories, for example. But I don't know, the beginning theories are required to understand like what's actually being researched now. Oh, I really don't know. You're absolutely right. I have a friend who's the head of a publishing company. I bet we love this. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, thank you. This is not a loving matter, gentlemen. A huge amount of money was poured into this over the past few years. That is true, but like the only thing is this the only thing you can think about? The worst thing is that the equipment used to gas the villages in the case of an emergency has already been procured. Jesus. Yeah, and I suppose it would have been. Our people must never learn about this. Yeah, and that is actually a really scary thing to think that the equipment has actually been procured and gas things. Like, I mean, that massacre that I saw in Higurashi, that wasn't that different from, you know, I hate to say it, but the Holocaust. It really wasn't. I don't really know if that's a fair comparison, but it really just reminded me of it. Something that similar to the Holocaust happening 40 years after the war. I mean, it happening in itself is fucking horrible, but like, for the country as a reputation. But for that to happen then, oh god. Yeah, for such a plan.
終末作戦なんて緊急措置の存在を知られてしまったら
That is actually fair enough,
国外
yeah.
は愚か
For such a plan to exist is scary
回
enough.
すことに
But
な
if
るだ
people
ろう
find
ね
out about this equipment, the whole country will turn against us.
しかも
On top of that, the cost
そ
to
の機材の
maintain
維
this
持費
equipment
が
is
す
enormous.
ごいことになってるじゃないか
Interesting. So when the funding actually goes, they're not going to be able to get the equipment, right? Interesting.
It really is dangerous. You don't really think it's being maintained, do you? Surely this whole project is some kind of money laundering scheme. Oh my god, that's awful that he actually thinks that. What did they say anyway? Yeah, it's actually really scary to think, like, I mean, even though with the Hinamazawa research things, this equipment has actually been sort of procured for the sole intention of the prevention of a potential disaster, these people just, they don't see it. They just think it's delusions. That's really not good. I mean, no shit, but like, still, that is just really bad.
少女が一人死ぬだけで村人が1000人以上行動を起こす病気なんてあなたどこの漫画の話ですか
It is interesting, that. I mean, the thing is about these theories, it sounds so ridiculous, but the only thing is, firstly, I suppose I don't really know that, but secondly, the more sort of valuable piece of evidence, they have scientific evidence for this. Or do they, though? You wonder. I really do wonder what happens in a world where Minagoroshi's... I have just thought of something. I have actually just thought of something really, really valuable to this sort of theory. Look at Meakashi and Watanagasi. Look at when Rika, she died, so as a result the gas disaster doesn't happen. I think if Rika dies before June, late June, then it never happens. But like, anyway, the villagers never went crazy. Nobody ever was close to I don't know, just doing really, really massive amounts of crimes, being able to actually induce a terrorism-related state that Melzar syndrome would have. I really find it interesting though, Watanagasi and Meakashi, Tomitake and Takano were already... It's actually really interesting with Takano, because she was in her scheme of things, like, you know, when in Minagoroshi, like, you know, when she kills Takano and Tomitake even, she was still in that plan, yeah, because Rika died. I'm assuming it changed. I'd be very interested to see how that changed. I hope we're going to get that tomorrow, or the day after, so... Exactly, someone actually believes such a charming story and put a huge amount of mind into it. That's crazy.
こんな資料を真に受ける連中がいるというんだから、実にバカバカしいことです。
Interesting. I mean, even though it sounds so ridiculous, this is a rare parasite and disease, so you don't know what you're dealing with, so you could expect anything. Secondly, you don't know that this actually has scientific evidence backed up to it. I mean, to be fair, it isn't really enough for, like, real amounts. They've only sort of been able to have, like, 2 or 3 specimens, actually, now that I think about it. But still, no, maybe 4 or 5, because Rika and Satoko, they could have potentially helped with things, but still, they do have actual evidence, but they don't have enough for clinical evidence, so who knows. As he said that, he placed the documents down with an exaggerated gesture. Actually, I should say he slammed them down. Oh, so he really thinks that they've wasted his time. Because the papers end up scattered all over the floor. Oh no, don't tell me they're going to completely rip them up. You're too right. Oh, excuse me. I need to use the bathroom. Alright. One of the men stood up. Oh no! One of the men stood up and stepped on the papers. Oh, that's just so sad for her, though. And they weren't the papers on the tatami mats, but the one on the carpet. Oh shit, they're probably going to shred much easier because of the surface being softer. Oh god. Right there, I can see my grandfather filled with heartrending sadness. Yet he can't let it show on his face. Yeah, and you can't either, Takano. I mean, like, the thing is, it must be very difficult for her not to, but she cannot lash out. Because if she does, then she's not only going to have her reputation sort of diminished, but also it's just going to look bad on all of her team that are there. Oh, God, that must be so horrible to see. God, it's just really interesting that, like, even though society has changed, the respect people don't have. I mean, even though if this was some sort of childish thing that people have actually believed, I still don't think that they should be doing this because it is really, really disrespectful. Grandfather's expression didn't change. Yeah, it seemed distorted to me. I can see the walls of my grandfather's study crumpling and twisting behind him. Maybe the door's being opened. jumped into the room. I grabbed onto the man's legs. I don't hate him. No, it's not whether I hate him or not. Sure, I hate him, but that's not it. Yeah. Oh my god. So she's actually, even though she's so old and she's got so much to lose by doing this, she's actually gonna try and make this person not step on the research. Wow. I just can't forgive the fact that he's stepping on my grandfather's article. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, the feet stepping on my grandfather's article, yeah. Don't step on them. My grandfather wrote these. Please don't step on them. Sorry. Oh, God. Oh, I feel so bad for Takano. Maybe. Those feet are still stepping on the papers. I try to make them move. But they won't even budge if they've grown roots. Damn, so even though this person's apologising, he's still not moving them. That's really sad. So I begged as I grabbed onto his legs. I tried to pull the babies away from under his feet. But I can't move his feet. I can't pull out the papers. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to save my thoughts for later. Don't step on them. Don't step on them. Grandfathers, don't step on them. Something echoed in that silent room, just like it did back then. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I really wanted to see how that actually ended, but yeah, I'm going to be honest, I think we definitely know how that ended, because yeah. God. Oh, I just feel so bad for Takano. Like, the only thing is, not only did she try her absolute hardest to actually get this research project revived by the funding, but the only thing is, these people, they don't want to know. And the only thing is, there's no convincing them as well, which is the scariest thing. Oh, it really is. It's just sad how this research got. The only thing is, I don't really know if her sort of, you know, trying to separate, you know, the papers from the speech, just because of her work that is so important to her being trampled on, is the most sensible idea. But the only thing is, at the same time, it's so important to her. I don't blame her for not. If anything, I think it's actually really admirable that she risks so much to actually do that. Oh god, it's just really sad seeing that sort of end of the research and the decline of it as well. But yeah, unfortunately that's what happened. That is the aftermath of it. And yeah, I suppose that really is the downfall of the research, because they not only have no funding. Oh, I really feel horrible for Takano. I mean, like, I really do wonder what's actually going to happen now that she's sort of, all of her research potential is gone. I wonder what she's actually going to do, and I just really wonder how she's going to turn corrupt. Do you remember in the third year when she actually turned towards the mountain dogs for support, because whenever she had a really big problem, they were the easy way of solving it. I mean, the way to solve this problem is definitely not going to be easy, and I really do wonder what's going to happen, because, like, you know, the mountain dogs had a separate side in the Higurashi thing where Tomitake was killed. I really do wonder what the fuck happened with her to turn on Tomitake as well. I mean, obviously not joining the side, but like, what the hell was the side? Oh, dude, I really wonder. Oh, it's going to be really interesting. That, dude, it was just so fucking sad to learn about what we did today. But yeah, I suppose we learned everything we could, and yeah, sadly the research didn't really work out. Oh, it's just, I think the worst thing is, it's just, it's sort of, history repeated itself, really. Even though she tried so hard to make a difference, it still repeated itself. I think that's just the saddest thing about it. But yeah, I suppose that's the case. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm really excited to read tomorrow because yeah, we've got some very interesting things. We've got everything here. And I'm really interested in these fragment related things as well. Yeah, and I wonder what these two are going to be like, you know, the things here. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to read like these two, and then I'll probably read like all of the question arcs. And then, yeah, we'll probably read the answer arcs later. Or maybe we'll read like pairs, we'll read like Matsuribayashi, Tsumihoroboshi, Onikakushi, and Minakashi. Who knows? I'll think about it. Yeah, I think I'll probably do that. Yeah, dude, that was really, really interesting. And yeah, I'm really excited to actually read tomorrow. We're really in for some new shit tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys then. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, hope you have a good one.